All right, and welcome everybody to our summer yoga flow. I'm Megan, and tonight we're going to do a flow where we're going to open a little bit in the shoulders and also in the upper back. As always, if you have anything going on or if something doesn't feel right, I'm not there to see you, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's the most important part. Prop-wise, as always, if you have a mat, grab a mat. If you don't have a mat, no big deal. You can use a blanket to pad your knees if you're on hard floor. And also, as always, if you have blocks, you can use blocks or a couple of books or even soup cans, anything works. If you just like to bring the floor up a little bit to you, but that's always optional. So thank you for joining me tonight, and I think that's it. Let's start lying down. So since we are focusing on the shoulders, if it feels okay tonight to start in cactus arms, just taking your arms, I'm going to sit up so you can see, but stay lying down, taking your arms kind of like a cactus or like a goalpost, up like that. If that doesn't bother your shoulders, or if it feels like it, especially since we're just starting, if it feels like it's too much in your upper back, you don't have to do it. But if it feels okay, maybe today, taking cactus arms to start, it's just getting that little bit of rotation in the shoulders, maybe walking your shoulder blades underneath you so you feel like your shoulder blades are all the way on the floor. Knees can be bent, feet on the floor, anything else you want to do with your legs, go for it. And give yourself just a moment here to melt down. Feeling the flow of your breath. Feeling the slight opening that happens in your heart, especially if you're taking cactus arms, or even if your arms are out into a T. Feeling that opening in the upper back and the heart area. And sometimes when we talk about shoulders, we talk about our ability to surrender. If you've ever noticed, at least for a lot of us, when we get uncomfortable, nervous, stressed, our shoulders tend to start to work their way up towards our ears. And the idea of letting go of your shoulders, of opening up your shoulders, rolling out in your shoulders, it's the idea of surrendering. And not in a bad way, not surrendering in a way that, you're just giving up, but surrendering in a way that we're letting go of the things that we can't control and opening up to possibilities. So give yourself a moment here, notice your breath. And when you feel ready, slowly exhale all of the air out. And from here, inhale into your belly. Fill your belly all the way up. Pause once you reach the top. And as you exhale, feel your belly soften as you release. Doing that again, inhale into the belly, filling the belly all the way up. And as you exhale, soften and release. One more time, big inhale into the belly. And exhale into softening. On your next inhale, take your time, slowly bring your knees up into your chest. You can hug your knees in here if it feels good, rock and roll around a little bit. And then coming back to center, from here we're going to roll all the way over onto your left side. So rolling all the way over onto your left side. Hips are going to stack, knees stack, shoulders stack. Reach your arms out in front of you. Bring your hands together. And then as you inhale, you're going to keep your left hand where it is and just draw a big rainbow over your body as you open up your right arm. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand back to meet your left. So move with your breath. I might be moving faster or slower than you, that's okay. And then a couple more times. Inhale, big rainbow, drawing it over as you open up. And as you exhale, bringing it all back in towards center. One more time, inhale, open the right arm back up. And then this time, when we open up, this time we're going to pause Take a couple breaths here. Let the right shoulder melt down. If you feel any strain or tension in the low back, adjust, modify as you need to so you don't feel this in the low back in a bad way. If it feels nice in your low back, you can obviously, stay where you are. But if you're feeling any tension or strain, adjust, modify, maybe releasing through the arm a little bit, releasing through the legs. Give yourself another breath here. I like this variation of the twist because it gets more into the upper back. I feel this one sort of like in my right bicep even, opening all the way through the right pec. But notice where you feel it. Just because I feel it there doesn't mean that's where you're going to feel it. So give yourself another breath. And then as you exhale, slowly bring that right arm all the way back to meet your left. Bring back onto your left side, and then roll back onto your back. We're going to do the other side, but let's start on the back. Rock and roll around a little bit, massage out your lower back. And then let's do side two. So roll all the way over onto your right side. I'm going to turn away from you here. Reaching your arms out in front of you again, stacking your hips, stacking your knees, stacking your arms. And then again, as you inhale, drawing that big rainbow up and over your body as you open up. And as you exhale, left hand comes back to meet your right. A couple more times like that. Inhale, big rainbow up and over as you open that left arm up. And exhale, left hand comes back to meet your right. Following your breath, and one more time, inhale, opening up. And then pausing here for a few breaths. Noticing how it feels, noticing the flow of your breath. See if you can soften through your face. Soften through that left shoulder. So we're not trying to push it all the way down to the ground because that wouldn't feel very good. But allow it just to be really heavy. Adjusting, modifying as you need to. No strain, no pain. A couple breaths here. And then on your next exhale, take your time, slowly bring your left hand all the way back to meet your right. Lean back onto your right side. And then again, take your time, come all the way back onto your back. So from here, rock and roll around a little bit. One more time. And then either roll all the way over onto one side, or you can rock and roll a couple times up and down to come up to seated. And then finding a comfortable seat here. So again, we're just going to get a little bit more into the shoulders before we move more. So from here, sorry, get my hair on my face. From here, we're going to take the arms out in front of us, cross your right arm in front of you, and then take your left arm up and underneath that arm. It's a shoulder stretch. Breathe here. Let your right shoulder melt down. A couple of breaths here. Feel your sit bones grounding down. Feel the top of your head reaching up towards the sky. And then inhale, unwind, take your arms out and up overhead. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bend your right elbow. Grab your right elbow with your left hand and breathe here. So depending on how your shoulders are here, you may feel a little squished. So we're just working on opening up, moving those arms back just so far that you feel like you can breathe, but without any pain or forcing. So if you start to move your arms back and feel pain or force or anything bad, let it go a little bit. There's no perfect pose here. Give yourself another breath. This is a tricep stretch, so we're getting into the back of the right arm. And then exhale, arms come out in front of you. One more thing on that right side, and then we'll switch to the left. So we're going to cross the arms in front of you. This time, either you're going to hug yourself, bring the backs of your hands towards each other, or the front of your hands towards each other for eagle arms. Give yourself a long, deep inhale here. And as you exhale, we're going to have a little twist to the left. So a little bit of a twist in the upper body to the left, keeping your hips and your sit bones grounded down where they are. Just moving through the upper back. Long, deep breaths here. Again, allow your shoulders to melt down. And if you have the full breath with your hands, see if you can keep your hands away from your face, just as much as you can. Inhale, come back to center, unwind your arms. Put your arms up and overhead again, and exhale, bring your hands to your heart. But from here, bringing your arms out in front of you. Again, we're gonna do the left side. So left arm's gonna cross in front of you, right arm up and under. Couple of breaths here. So the tendency here is for that left shoulder to kind of creep its way up towards your ear. Remember, we're working on surrendering here, so allowing that left shoulder to melt down. Full of breaths. And what does it mean to you to surrender, to let go? There's no right answer or wrong answer. Just your answer. Give yourself another breath. And then as you inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up towards the sky just for a moment. Maybe a little shimmy through your rib cage. And then as you exhale, bend your left elbow. You're going to reach with your right hand, grab your left elbow, and a couple breaths here. Again, just making it so you can breathe as best as you can. Long, deep breath. If you feel like you're really arching through your lower back, see if you can anchor your rib cage down just a little bit. Feel your low belly lift, so you've got some nice core support, so you're not taking this into your back. Another breath. And then as you exhale, arms come out. And one more thing, we're gonna wrap the arms up. Left arm's gonna come on top of the right. Again, either hug, backs of the hands come towards each other, or front of the hands towards each other. Again, there's no better or best variation here. It's just what feels best in your shoulders. So don't move into a position that does not feel good in your shoulders. So again, you stay here or a little twist to the right this time. Breathing. Long, deep breaths. Trying to keep, if you've got the wrap going on, trying to keep your hands away from your face and shoulders down, away from your ears, wherever you are. Softening through your eyes and your jaw. Inhaling, coming back to center, unwind your arms. Picking the arms up and overhead, and exhale, hands come into your heart. Anjali Mudra. Pause here just for a moment. Again, we're thinking about letting go, surrendering, softening through our shoulders a little bit. So think about, before we move any further, think about setting an intention for your practice. A reason for your practice, a word you want to focus on, something you want to dedicate, or something you want to let go of. Be a good day for that. And then once you have your intention, take your time, slowly blink your eyes open, and let's come on to hands and knees. So hands are going to come underneath your shoulders, knees come underneath your hips. Let's cat-cow a couple times. You're going to inhale, arch your spine and look up. Exhale, round your back and drop your head. And then just keep going, follow your breath. Notice the flow of your breath, notice how you feel. And while you're moving here, notice the movement through the upper back. So try not to involve the neck too much. It can move with your spine, but sometimes we overcompensate with the neck. So try not to involve the neck too much, but notice the area of your spine around your rib cage. Notice how much that moves as you move through your cat-cow. And again, you're not doing this to berate yourself or tell yourself that you're doing it wrong. We're just bringing some awareness to that area. Just notice. Give yourself another breath or two. And then the next time you come back into your inhale, let's come back to a neutral spine. On your inhale, take your right arm up towards the sky. So opening up through that right arm. And then as you exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left, coming down to or towards that right shoulder. Breathing here. Long, deep breaths. Your head can come to the floor if it gets there naturally. If it doesn't, you don't have to force it. You can even take your block or book or pillow, slide it underneath your head so you have some support. If you want to move that left hand, it might feel good today to take it up towards the sky, flip your palm and wrap it around. If that doesn't feel good, you can always keep it down for support or do whatever feels good in your body today. Another breath or two. And then on your exhale, releasing that left hand down. Press into your left hand, come all the way back up with that right arm. So reach that right arm back up towards the sky. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Good, from here we're gonna do the other side. So inhale, left arm's gonna reach up. And exhale, threading your left arm underneath your right, coming down again, towards that left shoulder. Making as much space in your upper body as you can. So sending your sit bones back, lengthening the top of your head forward. So you've got some space to twist into, otherwise this pose can be really uncomfortable. Give yourself another breath. And then again, you can choose to stay here, or if you want to take that right arm up, wrap it around behind you. That might feel nice. If it doesn't, don't do it. Long, deep breaths. Notice your face, notice your jaw. And then on your next exhale, if you've moved your right hand, bring it back. Pressing your right hand into the floor. Inhale, left arm's gonna reach back up towards the sky. And exhale, left hand comes down. Good, from here, when you're ready, you're gonna take your hips back towards your heels, come back into child's pose, reaching your arms forward if that feels okay. Long, deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, let's rock forward into a kneeling plank. So shoulders on top of your wrists, keep your knees on the floor just for this one, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale into just one cobra, roll your shoulders back, open up your heart. And then exhale, take it back into child's pose. Let's do that a couple more times, just following your breath. Inhale, sliding forward. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale into a cobra. And exhaling back, child's pose. One more time like that. Follow your breath. Inhaling forward. Exhaling to lower. Inhale into your cobra. And exhale all the way back. All right, you can stay here, or if you want to move into your downward facing dog now, it might feel nice, or it might not. It's up to you. Every day is different. But if you want to tuck your toes and lift your knees up for down dog, go for it. Let your heels travel away from your toes so your feet are getting really long. All 10 fingers press down into the floor. Wherever you are, let your head be heavy. Let your face be soft. And then when you feel ready, take your time, slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. Coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat. On your inhale, come about halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold. One more. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up. Put your arms up overhead, open up. And exhale, hands come into your heart, finding your center. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. On your inhale, arms reach up overhead. As you exhale, dive forward, come into your forward fold. Then just moving with your breath. Inhale, lengthen your spine, come about halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step your left foot back. Coming back into a lunge, take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, put your back knee down on the floor. Inhale, we're gonna come up into a low lunge. Remember, hands can stay low if you feel wobbly today, but if you're feeling all right, come up with me. And then inhale, arms reach up overhead. We're gonna bend the right elbow, just like we did before, and then catch your right elbow with your left hand. Now, as you do that, notice you're gonna start to arch here through the spine. See if you can anchor down your low ribs. Feel your low belly lift, and give yourself a breath here. Feel the opening in your tricep, the opening in your heart. Feel your breath. As you exhale, bring both hands down, all the way down to the floor, and then step your right foot back. Coming back into a plank or a kneeling plank. Take a deep inhale here. And as you lower down, exhale. Inhale into a cobra, roll your shoulders back, open up your heart. And then as you exhale, either hips to heels for child's pose or back into your downward facing dog. So choose the one that feels best. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Feel the energy through your arms. Maybe feel the softness in your shoulders, if it's there. On your next inhale, take your time, slowly step your left foot forward. Again, we're going to pause here and look forward. And then as you exhale, back knee comes down to the floor. Inhaling, again, stay low if you're feeling really wobbly, or come up with me. Arms are going to reach up. And then this time we're going to bend the left elbow, catch the left elbow with the right hand, and open up. Again, notice there's that tendency, at least for me, there's a tendency to really kind of collapse here. See if you can take your low ribs and zip them in a little bit as you lift your low belly up. So you have some nice support through your core. So we can really get into the arms, the back of the arm really, without sacrificing our back. Give yourself another breath. And then exhale, hands come down to the floor. Let's step your right foot forward to meet your left. Come back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead, open up. Exhale, hands come to heart. Take a long, deep inhale here. And a long, deep exhale. On your inhale, arms reach up overhead. We're going to do the second side. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Maybe a little different this time. Inhale, lengthen your spine, come about halfway up. Exhale to fold, plant your hands, step your your right foot back. Step your right foot back this time. Bring your back knee to the floor. On your inhale, again, if it feels okay, come up. And then this time we're going to make cactus arms. So like we did in the beginning, cactus or goalpost, whatever you connect with. Inhale, we're going to roll the heart open like someone's pressing on your hands. But the same thing here, you're going to zip your low ribs in and feel your low belly lift. So we're not opening up to the lower back. We're really opening up to the shoulders and the upper back. So give yourself a long, deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, bring your hands towards each other, bring your forearms towards each other, and round a little bit like cat. Let's do that one or two more times. Inhale, let's do two. Open up. Exhale, arms come towards each other. One more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, opening it back up. Keep all this space in your upper back. Reach your arms up towards the sky. And then exhale, hands come down to the floor. Feeling a little wobbly today. Step your left foot back. Coming back into your plank or your kneeling plank. Give yourself an extra breath in your plank if you feel okay here. And then exhale, lower all the way down. And your inhale, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor, open your heart up, roll your shoulders back and away from your ears. And then exhale, again, either hips to heels for child's pose or downward facing dog. Pause there just for a couple of breaths. Notice how you're feeling. And then on your next inhale, take your time, slowly step your right foot forward between your hands. Remember, if it gets stuck, you can always help it along the way. Inhale, get long here, and then exhale, back knee comes down. Again, staying low if you're feeling wobbly, or coming up with me into cactus arms. Inhale, remember, we're opening up here, but at the same time, we're not sacrificing our center, so you're zipping up through your center, letting your low ribs drop down, low belly lift. Inhale here, and on your exhale, forearms come in towards each other as you round. Two more times like that. Inhale to open up. Exhale to round. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round. Inhale, we're going to open up. Feel all the space you just created, and keeping that space, reach your arms up towards the ceiling or the sky. And as you exhale, hands come down to the floor. Let's step the left foot forward to meet the right. Come back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart. Pausing here, take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Inhale, arms reach up. Just following your breath. You're going to do something different this time. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, fold forward. Let's step the left foot back, anchored on the back heel, and come up into warrior two. So arms come out into a T. Front heel is going to kind of line up with the arch of your back foot. Remember, we talked about that. It just depends on your hips. Breathe here. And then just for today, turn your palms to face up. Notice how when you do that, your shoulders roll down. It kind of softens your trapezius for back. Couple of breaths here. Make sure your front knee is bending right on top of your ankle. Keep that back leg really strong. And then as you inhale, take your left hand back to your left leg. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Opening it up. Make some space. And as you exhale, bring your right elbow down to your right thigh. Reach your left arm up towards the sky. You're opening up here toward in the heart. And then taking your left palm, you're going to flip your palm back behind you. And then wrap your arm around behind you. You can bring your hand to your hip here. You can bring it to your back. If it gets all the way to your thigh without any sort of strain, go for it. But that's got a lot to do with the length of your arm and everything else. So be nice to yourself. Don't force it. And then use that to roll your heart open. Breathe. Give yourself another breath. And then inhale, press into your feet, come all the way back up. Unwind your arms, come back into warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach way forward with your right hand. Right hand's going to come down to your shin, to the floor, wherever it falls. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Open, open up. Take a long, deep breath. Enjoy the space you are creating. And then exhale, top hand comes down to the floor. Let's bend the front knee, come back into your lunge, and then step your left foot forward to meet your right foot. Come back into your fold. I'm going to turn towards you, but you can stay where you are. So from here, you're going to wiggle your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your toes out and your heels in, and we're going to pop down into a squat. So your squat might be up a little bit. You may be down, down, down. Doesn't matter how low you are. You can even, if you have a block or a couple of books, you can sit on your block or a couple of books. So that might, it's always a nice option. Breathe. Good, and then you can stay here in your squat. We're not going to be here for too long, but if you want to, we're going to take the right arm and shoot it out to the right. Maybe fingertips come to the floor, but they don't have to. And then left arm's just going to peel up towards the sky. Opening, opening up. Breathe. This is a pretty big pose. It may not look like it, but it is. So give yourself another breath. And then exhale, come back to center. And bring both hands down, straighten your legs. Wiggle your feet back so they're about a normal width apart. Maybe a little bend in the knees. And grab opposite elbows here. That feels good. Give yourself a moment just to let all that go. Feeling your right side, feeling your left side. And when you feel ready, release your hands down to the floor. I'm going to stay on that right leg just for another moment. So keep your right foot forward, step your left foot back. There it is. Coming back into your lunge. Here we're going to keep the left hand down, open the right arm up, and twist towards that right leg. Take a breath here. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Step your right foot back, coming back into your plank or your kneeling plank. So from here, we're going to move into side plank on the right side. So you can stay on your toes here and pivot onto the pinky edge of your feet. You can use that left foot as a kickstand in front of you, or you can kickstand that right foot out to the right, bringing the left foot in line, left foot, right knee, right hand, left arm opens up. So any variation here you want to be in, doesn't really matter. Just notice what feels best on your shoulders, what you feel like you can take another breath or two in. And then exhale, top hand comes down. And let's lower all the way down. Inhale into a cobra, roll your shoulders back, open up your heart. And exhaling, taking it back, child's pose or downward facing dog. Choose the variation that feels best. Go there, give yourself a breath or two. And then on your next inhale, take your time, slowly walk your feet all the way forward, coming back into your forward fold at the top of your mat. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, arms reach up overhead, open up. And exhale, hands come to heart. Again, finding your center, remembering your intentions, noticing your shoulders. If they're starting to work their way up towards your ears, you can let them go. Good. And then let's do side two. So inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine from about halfway up. Exhale to fold, plant your hands, step your right foot back this time. Anchor down your right heel, and we're going to come all the way up. Warrior two. Feel your feet. Feel your arms. And then turn your palms to face up. Feel that rotation in the shoulders. Maybe a little bit more opening through the heart. Notice if you like this variation. And breathe. Notice how it feels just to be here. Notice your front leg and your back leg, and your whole body just hanging out in this shape. Good. Give yourself another long, deep breath. And then as you inhale, take your right hand back to your right leg. Reach your left arm up towards the sky, opening up to that left side. Make it feel kind of nice. And then as you exhale, bring your left elbow down to your left thigh. Take your right arm up towards the sky. Open up your heart here. So you want a lot of space in your heart, and we don't want to lose that. But if it feels okay, only if it feels okay in your shoulder, take that right hand, flip it back so the palm is facing backwards. And then wrapping the arm around, you can bring your hand to your hip. You can bring the back of your hand to your low back. You can reach around and see if you can find your thigh, but don't pop your shoulder out of socket trying to find your thigh. It doesn't matter. It's still there either way. So roll your heart open. Take a long, deep couple of breaths here. Keep lengthening your tailbone down towards that back heel. Because again, sometimes when we start working into the shoulders and the upper back, the lower back likes to help us and we start to arch. So see if you can really lengthen your tailbone. Feel your low belly lift. And again, low ribs knit in just a little bit. Another breath or two. And then inhale, unwind that top arm. Come all the way back up. Straighten the front leg. Reach way forward with the left hand, triangle pose. Left hand comes down to the shin, to the floor, to the block, wherever it falls. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Make some space for yourself because it feels so nice. And breathe. Take up as much space as you can here. So instead of getting really low and allowing your heart to collapse down onto the floor, or towards the floor, try and come up a little bit and roll your heart open. Breathe. On your next inhale, a little bend in that front knee. Let's come all the way back up. And as you exhale, both hands are going to come down to the floor. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot, coming back into your fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Wiggle your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And one more time, we're going to pop down into that squat. Remember, your squat can be anywhere. You can even sit on your blocks or books. Breathe. Feel the length in your heart here. So it's really easy to round in this pose. I really like to round in this pose. So instead of doing that, we're going to try and work our shoulders away from our ears. Press your arms into your legs and reach your heart forward. And breathe. Again, if you want to take that arm heart opening variation, this time we're going to take the left arm out to the left and then peel the right arm up towards the sky. And breathe. Opening up your heart, stabilizing through your legs. Notice if you can move your jaw around a little bit here. And then exhale, top hand comes down, straighten the legs, wiggle the feet back so they're just about hip width apart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, dangle here for a couple of breaths. Again, you can grab opposite elbows, or if you want to interlace your fingers behind the base of your skull, letting your elbows come in kind of like earmuffs and just hanging here like that too. If that doesn't pull too much, you don't want to pull on your neck or your back so you're not yanking. You're just using your hands as a little bit of weight. So if that feels okay, if it feels bad on your back or if you have anything going on with your upper back, don't do this variation. Long, deep breath. And then when you feel ready, release your hands down to the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands come down. You're going to step the right foot back. Again, moving into that twist. So right hand's going to come down, left arm opens up, just twist towards that left leg. Make some space. Let that left hip drop down. And exhale, left hand comes down. We're going to step it back. And again, we're going to move into our side plank variation once you're there. So either coming onto the pinky edge of both feet and opening up. Remember, you can kickstand one foot in front, or you can bring that left knee down. Right leg reaches, opening up here, like here. There's lots of places you can be. Oops, lots of variations. So give yourself another breath or two. And then exhale, top hand comes down. Lower all the way down. Follow your breath here. Inhale into a cobra. Open up your heart. And exhaling back, child's pose or downward facing dog. And when you feel ready, slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands coming back into your forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, reach your arms up overhead, opening up. And exhale, hands come to heart. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. Good. From here, on your next inhale, we're going to keep the right foot forward. We're just going to step out wide with that left foot, coming into a wide-legged stance, facing the long side of your mat. From here, hands are going to come to your hips. As you inhale, heart opens up towards the sky. And as you exhale, if it feels okay for this variation, keep your hands on your hips as you fold forward here. Lifting your shoulders away from your ears. Feel your feet pressing down. Obviously, if you feel really unbalanced here, if you feel like you're going to topple forward, you can always bring your hands down. Support yourself as you need to. But if you feel okay, keep your hands on your hips just for another breath or two. And your next inhale, come about halfway up, and then come all the way up. Good. So option 2. So either if we're going to keep the hands on the hips or interlace your fingers behind your back. Okay? So one more here. We're going to inhale, open up the heart, and then as you exhale, hinge forward and fold. Breathing here. Trying not to lock your elbows out. Feeling your feet grounded down. Remember, again, if this is terrible on your shoulders, please don't do it. And then on your next inhale, again, come about halfway up. Release your hands and come all the way up. Turn your right foot towards the front of the mat. Bending your right knee, bring your arms out into a T. So we're back in warrior two. And then exhale, right elbow comes down to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Taking that left palm, we're gonna flip it back around behind us. Bringing the hand either to the hip, to the low back, or reaching around a little bit further. Doesn't matter how far you get. Roll that left shoulder back, open up your heart. If you want to go further here, you can bring your left hand down to the floor. If you like a full wrap, if that's something you do on a regular basis, go for it. I'm not going to do it today, so we'll do it a different day. Long, deep breaths. But inhale, unwind your top arm. Unwind both arms. Come all the way back up. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. We're just going to switch your feet. So right foot's going to turn in, left foot turns out. Bend the left leg. Coming into warrior two, facing the back of the mat. Give yourself a breath here. Make sure your feet are nice and stable. And then side angle pose again. Either elbow to thigh or hand to the floor of the block. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Again, we're going to flip it around. And one more time, wrap it around behind you, either elbow or hand to hip. Hand to the back, hand towards the thigh. Roll your heart open. Go as far here as you want to. You can bring that top hand down towards the floor, or you can wrap it even further. But again, just like everything else we've been talking about, you don't want to go so far that you start to collapse here, because then you're losing the opening that we're going for. So only go so far that you can maintain this opening where your right shoulder is rolling back and you feel nice wide collarbones and open chest. Give yourself another breath. And then inhale, unwind, come all the way back up. Straighten front leg. Parallel your feet. Work your feet a little bit closer in towards each other. Turn your toes out and your heels in. It's our last one here. We're going to take the arms out in front of you. Bend your knees, sorry. Got to squat. I got excited. Got to squat. And then we're going to take your arms out in front of you. Cross your right arm on top of your left. For equal variation, remember you can hug here, you can bring the backs of the hands, front of the hands, however you want to be. Give yourself a couple of breaths. And then inhale, unwind. And other side, left arm crosses on top of the right. Again, back to the hands, front of the hands. You can hug. A couple of breaths on this side. Breathe. Remember, if your hands are wrapped, try and keep your hands away from your face. And again, melt your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, unwind. Straighten your legs. Ooh. Parallel your feet. Bring your hands onto your hips. Heart opens up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Hands can come wherever they fall. If you want to bring them underneath your shoulders, if you want to do any of the variations we did before, go for it. But anything you're doing, see if you can keep your shoulders away from your ears and breathe. Lots of space for your neck. Inhale, come about halfway up. Then we're just going to walk the hands around towards the front of the mat. Step the right foot back to meet the left. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. From here, bring your arms down by your sides. We're going to move through Locust Pose. So bring your arms down by your sides. Bring your forehead to the floor. And then on your inhale, let's lift up. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Everything lifts. Spread through your toes. Notice how you're feeling. Make some space here. Get really long in your spine. On your exhale, release and lower all the way down. Turn your head, whatever way feels best. Let your shoulders drop down. Let your face be soft. And then let's do one more. So you can keep your arms down by your sides, or you can interlace your fingers behind your back, whatever feels best here. So again, inhale, lifting up. Breathe here. Spreading through your toes, making a lot of space wherever you are. Just going for space. Long, deep breaths. Rotating the pinky edges of your feet down towards the floor as your inner thighs lift you up. And then exhale, release and lower down. Turn your head the other way. Give yourself a couple of breaths here. And then on your inhale, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, pressing into your hands, open up your heart. And then exhale, let's press back onto hands and knees. Not going to go back into our child's pose quite yet. And come up into stand on your knees. We're just going to do one. Just one camel pose, Ustrasana. So you're going to take your tailbone and lengthen it down. Feel your low belly lift. Bring your hands onto your low back. Your toes can be tucked or untucked. It's completely personal preference, whatever feels good for you. Roll your shoulders back, open your heart up towards the sky. Take a couple breaths here. You can choose to stay. You can choose to reach back for your heels if you want to. But stay with the variation of the pose that feels best for you. And when you feel ready, slowly release, coming all the way up. If you let your head drop all the way back, let it be the last thing that comes up. And then find a comfortable seat just for a moment. Let yourself absorb all of that. Feeling your shoulders, feeling your upper back. Feeling the flow of your breath. And then when you feel ready, take your time. Slowly bring your feet out in front of you. And then from here, I'm going to turn towards you. You can stay where you are. From here, let's bring the right knee in towards the chest. Hug your right knee in. Flex your left foot. Sit up really super tall here. We're going to bring the right hand behind you. Lengthen your spine here. And then inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky. As you exhale, we're going to twist towards the right leg. So you can bring your arm around and wrap that leg, or you can bring your elbow to the outside of the thigh. I feel like my leg is too long to do that variation. I like to hug here. So breathe. Long, deep breaths. And that could just be my excuse, is that my leg's too long. That's okay, I'm good with it. Breathe, long, deep breaths. Give yourself another breath or two. As you inhale, think about lengthening your spine. As you exhale, think about twisting towards your right leg. But on your next inhale, come back to center. And let's switch and do the other side before we fold. So extend the right leg straight, bring the left knee in toward your chest. Flex your right foot so your right leg's nice and engaged. Bring your left hand behind you. Again, get really long through your spine here. As you inhale, maybe right arm reaches up towards the sky. And as you exhale, either hug that knee in or hook your elbow to the outside of your knee. Again, only go so far so you can keep that opening in the shoulders and the upper back. You want to feel nice wide collarbones, lots of space there. If you go too far, you'll realize you'll, just like everything else, you'll start to collapse through the upper back to try and get more space. But we don't want to do that. You don't want to go beyond the point where you can really keep that nice wide opening in the collarbones and the shoulders and all the things. Give yourself another breath or two. And then inhale, come back to center. Extend your left leg out. Sit up really super tall here. Lengthen your spine. Flex both feet. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips and fold. Hands can come wherever they fall. They can come to your shins, they can come to the floor, they can come to your feet if they get there, but they don't have to. Especially with doing all that opening through the upper back, you may feel a little bit tighter in this pose, and it's very normal. So if you do, no big deal. Just see if you can back it off a little bit. Give your muscles, your spine a little bit of space to acclimate to going the other way. Couple of breaths here, softening through the shoulders. So again, if you feel like you're reaching forward to try and get your toes, but in order to do that, your shoulders are making their way up towards your ears and you kind of feel like you can't breathe, let it go a little bit and back it off so you can feel, again, a lot of collarbones, lots of space in the upper back. Doesn't matter how low you get. Just going for some space. Inhale, come all the way back up. And one more. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Baddha Konasana. Sit up really super tall here. And then notice, do you want to stay upright? You might feel it already. You might feel good to stay upright. Or do you want to start to hinge here? And by hinging, again, just for today, see if you can keep shoulders away from your ears, collarbones really wide. So really you're hinging from your hips and we're not rounding in. Breathe. The idea of surrendering, but also being open to new possibilities. So we're surrendering our shoulders away from our ears, but keeping that open heart. Open to new possibilities. Open to the things that are coming, good things that are coming. Give yourself another breath or two. Notice your breath. And then inhale. Take your time, slowly come all the way back up. Use your hands. Bring your hands to the outsides of your legs. Bring your knees together. And slowly make your way all the way back onto your back. Once you get there, if it feels good to hug your knees in towards your chest, do that. I can roll around a little bit, massage out your lower back. And then coming back to center, let's move into happy baby. So bending your knees, catching your shins, your ankles, your feet. Feet are pointed up towards the sky. And if it feels good to roll around a little bit here, go for it. Keep anchoring your tailbone down so your back is pretty much, nice and flush with the floor. And breathe. Breathing into the hips a little bit here. Again, notice your shoulders if they start to creep up towards your ears. See if you can melt them down. You want this to be a nice pose, a nice shape. And then coming back to center, take both of your feet up towards the sky. Maybe bring your hands onto your thighs or to the backs of your legs. Knees don't have to be straight here. You can bend them a little bit or a lot. But give yourself just a moment here. Letting the blood rush out of the legs. You can do ankle circles or point and flex through your feet, or if it feels better at this point to be still, be still. Letting yourself soften. Feeling your shoulders again. May feel good to walk your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit, so your shoulders are moving away from your ears. And then take your time. Slowly lower your legs all the way down to the floor. And once they get there, open up for Shavasana, for your final relaxation. So give yourself a moment. Again, if you need another twist, if you need a blanket, if you need something else, Get yourself really comfortable. Might feel good to let your feet come out wide a little bit, maybe flop them in and out, and then just let them rest out. Move your arms away from your body just a little bit, palms face up, and then again, shoulder blades. It's like you're taking your shoulder blade and moving it down your back. So lifting the right shoulder up, let that shoulder blade move down your back, and then putting that right shoulder down, lifting the left shoulder up, moving the left shoulder blade down your back, and then putting that shoulder down. So you feel like your shoulder blades are nice and supported by the floor. And then breathing here. But finding this position doesn't feel good in your body, finding a position that does feel good in your body, so that I'm going to sit up, but you can stay where you are, so that for the next few minutes, you can truly let go. This is our final act of surrender, Shavasana, complete surrender. Letting go of the physical practice. Our work there is done. And the idea here is that we can absorb all the good that we've done. And we teach our body and our minds to let go just a little bit. So feel your feet and your legs. And see how deeply you can let go of your right foot and your right leg. See how deeply you can let go of your left foot and your left leg. Begin to feel your belly and your low back. Feel the softness of your belly and feel the rise and fall of your breath. Unrestrained, unrestricted. Just let it be. Feeling your upper back, your heart, chest. Feeling the support of the earth. Feeling the opening in your heart and your chest. And then feeling your shoulders, arms, and hands. See if even just a little bit you can release your right shoulder, your right arm, and your right hand, just a little bit more. And then see if you can release your left shoulder, your left arm, and your left hand a little bit more. Feeling your neck, your throat, allowing the neck and throat to soften. And then feel the back of your head supported by the earth. Feel the front of the head, the face. And notice if you feel any tension or tightening or tightness in your face, allow yourself to let go there a little bit and soften. And then feel your whole body, your points of contact with the earth. And as you breathe here, allow yourself to let go and surrender. Opening yourself up to infinite possibilities. I'm going to be quiet here for about a minute, and then I'll be back to bring you back out. and slowly. If you want to stay in Shavasana longer, please, as always, stay. But if you are ready to come out, begin by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Roll all the way over onto your right or left side, and use your hands to come up to seated. And taking your time, bringing your hands to your heart, sealing in your practice, bowing to yourself, to your ability to let go of things that no longer serve you, and open yourself up to new possibilities. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And thank you all so much for joining me tonight. And I will be back next week. Thank you.